What's up? We already said what's up. Welcome back to the Fully Charged Podcast.
What they do?
I'm going to go ahead and introduce ourselves because we don't be doing that. We just expect everybody to know.
They better know each other getting on the scene, looking mean, looking clean. Go ahead.
Young Porter, Marquise Porterfield, Young Bean,
Y'all, what they do?
Mr. Bean.
Oh, cut that. They take me without my glasses.
Oh no, they got it. Usually Mayo occupies this seat, but today we got a special guest, Deontay Hall, D Hall.
Long hair, no care.
They finally let me on the podcast. they messed up.
And the reason why I wanted to introduce us, because we on new platforms now.
Word. That is so dope.
So if you don't want the
We
video,
going live, baby.
if you don't just want to go to YouTube, we on Google, we on Spotify,
For sure.
we almost on iTunes.
Apple, get back to us.
Yeah.
I support your product.
I don't, but hook us up. But today we talking about the youth, particularly working with the youth. We all got experience. Deontay currently works with kids, young bad kids. But go ahead and kick us off, Chili. What's
So the first, I just thought that we just talk about, start off by talking about how did we get involved working with the youth, and what it looked like for us during that time period. As always, we always let our special guests go first.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I'll say that he's our third special guest.
Just coming up as a kid, didn't really have a lot of role models and mentors. Then coming through Acts 2 and getting introduced to some guys that cared, and I wanted to have that same impact in other people's lives that they had in mine. So I was back and forth with it, and when I graduated college, started volunteering with Acts 2, started working at a school, started coaching, pretty much decided to spend all of my time with kids for some reason.
I'm gonna make you old quick.
Yeah, man, I already got grays on my beard. Y'all see those jobs? But, that's how I got involved with it.
Trying to see my beard.
Bro, I be having.
Yours is up.
I had this since I was 16, man.
Bro, I be finding them in my mustache.
Yeah, I see it.
Bro, I'm like, yo, I'm 26. Hey, I got a great mustache.
He was rocking with the most on the beard, though.
Be like that.
You probably got a lot in your hair, but dreads you can't tell.
That's why I don't marry once in a while. I pull them out and be like that.
Oh, snap.
All right, go ahead, my bad. We do interrupt each other.
I was done.
Oh, he was finito. All right, that is crazy coming out of all that school and jumping right into it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I never wanted to be a student again when I graduated college. I just started working at a school.
I guess for me, mine was kind of the same story. I'm digging in. Mine's just kind of the same story. But with no, even though I used to say I went to Harvard. Harvard on these. But mine's like the same story, but without the college part. I came right out of high school. Got saved with a certain church. And then after that, started hanging out with some people. Mayo. I didn't meet you until I think the following year.
Can't remember.
Yeah, it was at Passion at the conference. No, I knew you before Passion.
Yeah, before that.
It's just we didn't click, super click.
Yeah, we really hung out at Passion.
Yeah.
We was in the same room.
Yeah, I walked in and him and Aaron was watching.
All right, back to the story. I was just
Pictures time or something like that. man.
I still be watching the
Yo, that ain't funny. Or Gumball, Adventure World of Gumball. Little blue dude in the pink, purple.
That is a
orange
good
fish.
thing about kids. You get to watch cartoons. You ain't got to worry about it.
You get to
I
choose
kids
the
to watch
cartoons.
them.
My nephew, I just give him my phone and be like, yeah, watch whatever. Or I put on ABCs, because he always stop at F.
I'll watch what I want. Because
Man,
I'm grown, I can do that.
Speaking of, well, this is a tangent, but that blasphemy that people was coming out, that post, one gotta go with like Goku and and they're like, Goku gotta go. He the grand.
I said Goku.
Goku the OG.
Can we get into this on podcast time? Okay.
we talk
Can we have an
about
anime episode next time?
we talk about everything on here. Naruto, Shippuden. Some of them just you.
Goku the OG.
Goku was
Goku
the GOAT.
is the most generic character.
Bruh, but all of
You
them.
only say that because he's the most talked
I'm
about character.
gonna tell you, I'm gonna explain Dragon Ball Z to y'all right quick. So what happens is you got a villain, right?
Mhm.
Villain come down, he want to take over the Earth or destroy the Earth. The Z fighters go stop him. They lose. They train, get stronger. They come back. They win. Then another guy comes.
But that's all
and he wants
of
to take
them.
over the Earth. And they fight him and they lose. Then they train, get stronger, come back, win.
What about My Hero Academia?
I was just about to say that.
What you mean?
Same joint. All Might is Goku.
All Might don't even got no powers no more. Spoilers.
Now
All Might don't even got no powers no more.
Deku is now Goku in Dragon Ball.
Deku be losing. Deku lost to Todoroki.
Yes. Goku be losing. He lost to Piccolo.
Sure.
Man, Deku has more character depth than Goku.
Nah, and Goku.
He's a better character than Goku.
And
He
Goku
has
was out
more
here.
personality.
Goku was out here getting the ladies too. You got
Goku a bad father, man. Don't you got kids? You like Goku, man?
Sometimes you gotta trade.
Let's do that. Speaking of kids, let's go back to the subject. But yeah, if you back to what Deontay was saying, like my story was similar like kids, but without going. I didn't do the youth until after high school, and I didn't know nothing about it. Honestly, I came right out of high school and knucklehead, got saved, and got like, yo, this is something I want you to do. And I ended up working with this ministry for, I don't even know how long. It's been, what, 6, probably 7 years. But doing that, like, I got to see, like, I have a chance to stop kids from making the mistakes that I did, or, and it sounds weird saying that, because that's something you normally hear from a father. Like, I want to help you out and stop you, like, for making the mistakes I did. So it's like weird when you're telling that to a kid that's not your own, because sometimes these kids you're looking at, you want to beat them like they're your own.
Lay some paws on them.
Facts, but I need that job.
But you still got to share love. And I think it's also different, and we'll be getting into the other side of this as well. It's different from where we came from doing it, where all three of us came from doing it, is the ministry side. But it's also cool because we got to see the opposite side of mentoring outside of the Bible. With that being said, like, it's hard though, because now, I'm telling you now, anybody I mentor, I'm going to share the love of God too. But I'm also going to show you, like, what's the real view, well, my view, I can't say the real, of being a man. You know what I'm saying? It's not just chasing girls or getting the best money or having this, like, I felt like I had a story to tell that would be nice and like actually something that you can actually learn from. And I felt like, man, working with the youth is a great time, a great option for that. Especially sharing what the Lord has did for me, and having the opportunity to share to a younger kid and teaching that kid not just to hold on to the truth of God, but also take that truth and share it to the next person under them. I thought that was super dope, and that's why I did the youth.
Speak up a little bit. Speak up a little bit.
Oh, but that's why I did the youth.
I've just been out the whole time.
Um,
no.
but yeah, working with
Your wife on the camera.
working with the youth was awesome. It opened up a lot of doors, a lot of cool relationships. I don't know. It shows like you can be there for anybody that's not even for your family, and for that connection to build the way it did. It was pretty awesome. So I'll get more into it later, but until then, I'm here for Porter's View. Big Pete.
You ain't changed your volume in your voice at all.
It gets low when I'm hungry.
You better.
That joke was gonna be us staring at each other for like 10 minutes.
Oh, snap. Well, mine is, I don't want to say similar, but it's similar. Dang, we all the same. Well, yeah, I just got back from school. Well, let me go ahead and rewind it. I didn't have that many role models either, like 0. But the church down the street that you used to go to as well, from my mom's house, they had the joint on Wednesdays. So we used to go there on Wednesdays just to pretty much eat and play ball. But so that's kind of like my introduction into like that side of being mentored. I didn't really take advantage of it because I was too worried about these streets, I guess. But but then, like, you know, fast forward after my freshman year of school, I came back home, and I was about to take a year off, and I don't know if it was you or Mayo, one of y'all.
Invited you to the beach?
No. I know that was you. But afterwards, like after we got back from the beach, it was at Thanksgiving. I think it might have been either you or Mayo invited me to come to the Thanksgiving chomp at Acts 2. And that was kind of like my, like, for real introduction into, you know, working with the youth, trying to be that mentor figure. And, you know, similar, I just feel like God was like, yeah, this is something I want you to do right now in this season of your life. I feel like like you said, it's weird, especially then, but now, even now, because we all, Deontay, you 28, right? So oldest is 28. It be kids.
You 1 year older than us?
Two
They
years
used to
older.
always pick on J-Man for his age.
They graduated the same year.
They're the
More than
same age.
the
But I never knew that. But go ahead.
But it would be super weird because we was like 19, 20, and some of the kids would be like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then one of them was 19. I was 19. I'm like, bro, it's a weird dynamic. But that was kind of like my introduction
Shoot,
into
one was 20.
We'll talk. No. Well, that's how I was with Chuck. Cause he graduated a year before me. He was a leader at Acts 2 when I was a student.
So yeah.
We were born in the same year.
Yeah, that's a crazy dynamic. Like, yo, I'm only a year older than you, or a couple of months, or whatever it was. It's just a weird dynamic. But even now, because we still in our 20s, then they be 18, 17.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. Somebody, either you or Mayo, invited me, and I was like, yo, this is pretty dope to try to, you know, pour into somebody's life. And yeah, like that cliche you said, try to steer them away from the mistakes that we had made,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't have to go through it. So hopefully they could learn through us, not to let us, you know, feel that pain. Let us feel that burden, so they don't have to feel it. Type joint. So I'm like, yo, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, and I think it was also cool because, and this is kind of going into the second question of how do we learn from it. So this is kind of going into that is, I think it's pretty cool, like how I used to grow up thinking like Christians and this is probably another topic we have on race, but how Christians and white people and anybody that's in a leader form, like we're perfect and had it all together. And then when we're actually in a leadership role, it was crazy because now these students are literally looking at me, telling me like, you don't understand, like y'all got it. I'm like, bro, as I'm sitting here showing you to save your money, I just wasted money. So it's like, and not saying that in a hypocrite form, but saying that as a, man, like, I'm still struggling too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not, I don't have it all together. I'm still a dude that's still working on my life as well. And to tie that into something, like if you, like saying that statement and then having a student, which this never happened, but having a student or whoever you mentor to, you're mentoring to say, well, if you don't got it all together, who are you to teach me? You know what I'm saying? I asked myself that a couple of times while I was mentoring some of these kids. Like when I had, like it was easy to talk, like when I used to be in a gang and talking to some of these students that were struggling with gangs, I can experience, like I can tell them why I wanted out, what was my view on it, you know what I'm saying? But then when you're telling the student, one of the subjects that was tough for me to preach to a kid on, I can only share my pain and struggle that I was struggling with inside and with God, was like lust and porn. Back then when I first started, and even still, till probably like last year or a couple of years, it's been a while since I struggled with it, a long time, but.
I thought you were gonna be like last night.
Nah, it's been a while. It's been a while by the grace of God, that I struggled with it. But I still struggle with like lusting and porn, you know what I'm saying? And so when a student is like coming to you or talking, and this is from a youth point of view, well, church youth point of view, but struggling with that, and then they come to me and want to talk about it, be like, hey, can you help me with it? It was like, I wanted to really like, I wish I had like, you seen like the movie Click? Wanted to pause life and go back to a time where I could be like, dang, all right, so he's about to ask me, what can I say, what can I do? But I couldn't. So I'm stuck in a situation where I'm looking at a youth and I'm like, well, be honest, that's one of my struggles too. And I think that's how the connection really starts, when you're honest with the youth. When you're letting them know from the jump you don't have it all together. Don't mean put all your students don't need to know all the business, but they do need to see some side of weakness, some side of truth in you. And I think when you're showing that, you're building a connection. So when I had a student that brought that up, I was straight up like, hey, I'm struggling. I used to struggle with that too. I'm struggling with that as well. And then certain student was like, well, how did you get over it? And I'm like, I just put my trust in God and constantly working on it. And honestly, I had a accountability partner, Denaz, and y'all as well. I had an accountability partner to help me, or somebody I can call whenever I'm struggling or feeling tempted to get to that level. And he literally was like, well, can I have your number and you be my accountability partner? I think that right there was the goal that I was trying to do, and why I felt like I was called to ministry, is because I'm not God, I'm letting you know I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to still help you with struggles that I'm still going through, and we can both do this together. No matter if you're a student or not, we are both still the same people. You feel me? I just have a little bit more knowledge than you, but we're still equal, and I can still help you with your problems, and you being like my student or the youth can still have an impact and still be a great source in my life as well. That was my goal, and some of the beautiful experiences I got to experience with working with the youth at that ministry. It's even till this day, some students I'm still able to reach out to and see how they're doing every once in a while. Don't get to talk to them every day, but they grown now. They do. But I just think that's my view on some of the missions and some of the goals that we can do whenever you're planning on working with the youth. I think the main goal, this is again my opinion, is you have to be honest, transparent, is that the right word for it? With these kids, and honestly, like, letting them know, like, yeah, I'm human too, but we can do this together, and showing love, man. So that's my opinion on it. If anybody else got an opinion on their goal, with working with the youth, or something that they wanted to see, or just share a good experience that you had while working with the
I
youth.
was about to say, that wasn't the second question.
I was about to say, question changed a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just one time.
The whole opposite. All right, so go ahead, Deontay. What's your goal, or what would you want to see?
I don't want to go back to being simpler, but just to be transparent, to be able to say I've seen these experiences, I've lived through some of these things. Like I've been down this road. I know it's down there. You should go down this road. So to be able to articulate that with youth and really just relate to them on that level, and then because it's like you're not getting a lot of transparency from a lot of people. Like when you look at Miss Perfect and you approach them on that, and they'd be like, well, you still seem perfect after the conversation. Like, I don't want to ever seem like that, like, because I'm not perfect, I'm not a perfect guy. But I've had a lot of experiences in my 28 years, and I feel like if my experiences can help you not make the same mistakes that I've been through, then it's kind of like my duty to share them with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, like, because, like, once you put somebody up on a pedestal, and, like, so say, like, one of y'all was rocking with that, I got it all together type joint, and then a student saw you stumble, that's gonna mess up their whole perspective on everything. They're gonna be like,
we experienced that a lot, actually, with some of the leaders.
like, yo, like, this person's supposed to be this godly person, they got it all together, they ain't even never had a bad thought, but then when they see you, they be like, dang.
Like the no names, but
Yeah.
but the video series we used to watch back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what we're talking about.
We'll talk about later.
But I like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, but like.
But dude really made himself seem perfect, man.
Bro, and when I went up there and talked to him, yo, I made me super mad. He was like, "What music you listen to?" I was like, I usually listen to like, gospel music or like
rap.
And then he was like, that drums are meant for
summoning
spirits or
battle. Like,
bro.
Show me the verse.
Scripture, please. Then like, summoning spirits. I'm like, well, what about like even in the army, like they'll use drums for cadence. So if it's like a huge, like your whole division's out there, they'll use it for cadence so everybody's on the right step. I'm like, what about them? I'm like, you tripping. But I guess like my goals is like similar to y'all's, is like to be transparent, to be somebody that they could be accountable to, or somebody that's willing to work with them. So I guess I'll go on to the other part of the question. Like what I would want to see is like, I feel like, I think we talked about this a little bit when Ronique was here. Maybe not. Maybe we just talked about it amongst ourselves. But I feel like a lot of churches, a lot of youth programs fail at that next step. So what I mean is like, after they graduate high school, it's like the students just like fall off. It's because they're not students anymore. They graduated. So they're not in the youth program.
Yeah.
But when you go to like a church, in their like adult programs, it'd be like old adults. It'd be like 40 plus, 50 plus. So they don't feel like they can fit in with that crowd. They're no longer in this crowd. So then this middle ground, like
Just falls off.
they're lost. So I feel like a lot of programs fail them because they don't help them transition. So what I'd like to see is like, or what I would have liked to see is like a program that's kind of like college age, that helps you transition, that helps you with, if you want to go to college, I'll help you fill out applications, or take your SATs, ACTs, or if you don't want to go to college, like real world prep, so like help you learn how to write resumes, learn how to budget, learn how to do X, Y, Z.
I know one thing, like, just because you turn 18 don't mean you want to be a mentor or a leader.
Yeah.
Like, you might still need to be led, and to be forced out of the position of a student and into the position as a leader is kind of toxic to me too.
Yeah. Yeah, because then like you're not even, because you expecting them to like make this huge leap from follower to leader. Like you're not even
not really equipping them.
Yeah, you're not ushering them
Like
to this. You like
really only equipping them to exist in this space.
Yeah.
Which is why this group falls off a lot.
And like I agree with that 100%. I'm not gonna say the church name, but I can say the person that helped me, even though I didn't go to this church during my high school years, but he still had an impact. I'm gonna say his name, Mark, from my old church. Like I love the way this dude did it. Like when I got saved, it was right out of high school, and then they started the college group, and he literally like didn't just treat me like as a like, oh, you high school now, you old. He didn't treat me like a child either, though. But he did realize, like, man, now y'all about to go into the real world. So he's shown the real world love to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, you're like, you gotta have a good job, this kind of job. And then it also meant a lot to me because, and this is why I think it's also cool. Like, I think it's super cool when you have mixed, I mean, and it doesn't really matter, this is just my opinion. I think it's cool when you have different race, like helping each other out, because I love seeing that kind of peace instead of it just being focused on one color. I do believe in like strong black role models and stuff like that, so for viewers that have anything to say about anything about that, whatever.
going to his inbox.
Yeah, but because I found that cool because it was also, I mean, coming from like, I've seen what it's like to be successful growing up. We did live in a rough neighborhood and we lived in a pretty wealthy neighborhood. But to see it from a different perspective and another grasp on life, like when he was showing me or talking to me about college, which he got on my nerves about college because he talked about it all the time, but he didn't push it on me. But he did say like, man, like he took it as, this is how, like, all right, this is where I'm going with it. He took it from, he showed me how to like be a Christian, not how to be a Christian, but show the love. He showed the love of God to me. And then he was showing me what it's like. He can't teach you. I feel like teaching comes from God. Well, in a way, I guess he can. God showed me him.
Yeah, because that's a spiritual gift.
Yeah, exactly. But he's showing me now, like, living with God as an adult. And I thought that was pretty dope as how he transitioned. Still showing me love, still not giving up on me because I'm out of high school, or still not saying, oh, now you need to jump into it, you got it all. Nah, he was still like, hey, there's still stuff you can still learn no matter how old you are. And I love Mark for that. He was a great mentor to me in my life. Don't see him as much, but if you listen to this podcast, we need to link up.
He don't want to sell cookies. You sell cookies?
Yeah, to high schools and stuff like that.
He sell cookies.
Well, it's not cookies.
I never knew what he did for a job.
It's not cookies. But we ain't gonna put his business out like that. But he's successful, man. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I thought he had
And you know, speaking on that, like, I know, like, y'all both know my brother been locked up since I was 15.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him one day about kind of just mentorship and what I like, kind of like the same thing we're talking about now. And he was telling me, like, it was just easier to listen to people who had what he wanted. So,
Mhm.
so he had two friends that had their dads around. One was a crackhead, and one struggling just as bad as we were struggling. So who was he really supposed to look up to,
Mm.
other than the dope boys who had what he wanted?
Yeah.
So it's important. I think it's important for us to really just be more relatable on that tip. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's hard to, it is hard to listen to somebody that don't got what you want. And a lot of times I think that I don't have what the kids want, so they might not listen to me, but.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like, that's true, like, you can relate it to him on that level, but you can, I feel like that's almost like a superficial, like a surface level type joint. So, like, I feel like if you dig deeper than that, you relate to them like, maybe their brother been locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, or like that. So I guess like a similar situation, like my cousin been locked up, he just got out, but he's been locked up since we were 12. And so we can relate on that level. So I feel like we should dig almost,
Mm-hmm.
like, because
Yeah, that goes back to like, cause I've seen that road.
yeah,
I was going down that road because I was doing everything my brother was doing. I'm going down that road, and then when I see where it went, I started going down that road. I was like, nah, let me switch past real quick.
yeah, because we,
Yeah. And then what I needed at that point was a mentor, and it took a while for me to really get one because I ain't started going to Acts 2 till I was, 16, 17. So it took a while where I was just lost, and I didn't really have anybody to look up to. And it took a while for me to actually get into this group, see the love of some of the mentors. Like one of my homeboys, one of my best friends, got adopted by one of the mentors. Like that was cool to see. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know? But that was the love that God had shown him, and him showing it to somebody else.
yeah,
So that's kind of
yeah, because for real, I know I don't got what people would want unless you want a fro or something like that. Like I
he wants a dread.
like I got a wife and a kid, but I ain't gonna graduate.
I mean, but even that's what
That is true, but-
like a family, a strong family with a mother and a father.
Yeah, but like if you're looking at it like, oh, I want to be mentored by somebody that got, because a lot of things is like financial stability.
Mhm.
I'm financially stable, but I'm not like a baller level.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not gonna graduate college until I'm 27. I'm not gonna have a meaningful job at least until I turn
Mhm.
27. So, like you said, that hey, you relate to them. They on this path.
I get it.
And it's not always money. I don't want it to be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always
See,
money. Like you got a family, somebody might want that, so they might listen to you. I got a degree, somebody might want that, might listen to me.
Chilling outside of chill.
I think-
Chilling
Nah, I don't know. I'm kind of the opposite of what y'all are. Because, I mean, and I'm not saying it's wrong, because I think that's true to a lot of people when they listen to somebody that has what they want. My situation, like mine was just, I just want to listen to somebody that's real and honest. You feel me?
And
And
you know, people pay money to go listen to billionaire stuff. Like,
yeah, that's true. But, because like, going back to the guy I was talking about, the mentor, like, I guess, I mean, he had everything where it looked like. But my relationship with him, it wasn't from like oh man, you driving this nice car. Even though this car wasn't, it was just a normal car, but I didn't have a car. But it wasn't from like, you driving a car, I want that. My relationship was with him because man, like, when times got rough in my life, this dude's still showing love. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And he's still,
What you might have wanted might have been
Yeah.
that relationship that you had with
You
God.
wanted-
It's still something that you
Yeah,
want.
you wanted something
that's
that was real.
exactly, I guess you're right. Cause I guess you can basically answer mine when you said it's not about money. And I guess that's what I was looking at from what y'all was saying at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Y'all right. Because I would definitely say the relationship I seen him have with the Father, I wanted that. Cause he was just like so happy most of the time I seen him, or like, he just, I don't know, it was just so dope, like chilling with, I would love to chill with Mark again. Cause that dude was awesome. And that's some of what I took to my role in the youth is, man, I want to be like that to somebody else.
Mhm.
Be like that to show them, hey, man, like God is loving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just talking with somebody yesterday over at church worship dinner or something like that, and we was just talking about how a lot of people turn their backs on Christianity because you got those Christians that's out there that feel like, hey, like, I'm better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they only got the God part. They only understand that God is the creator, God loves me, God loves me. You know what I'm saying? That's the only part they get in there.
They ain't even got that part for real if they feel like they better.
I mean, that's true, but a lot of people like to stick to just that point, and I'm talking to those Christians.
A lot of that is lack of mentorship and
Facts. Because they don't.
misinformation.
Yeah.
I think, I honestly believe that. And I was talking to them about that, and I'm just like, they are forgetting, like, the mission. You feel me? Like, they feel like I got the faith, so now I'm better than you, but they're forgetting the real mission, which is showing the love to others. You know what I'm saying? Of showing the love of Christ, the love of God to others. And that's where the mentor, like, that's what Mark did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the relationship with the Father, but he didn't look down on nobody as if he had it all together or he was this perfect dude. Like,
His homies don't be reading Matthew, I guess.
I guess so.
Who's first and last, last is first, meek shall inherit the earth.
Like, he still,
What was the jump? Lover of peace, something. I don't know. I ain't been in Matthew in a minute.
I read that book, bro. But yeah, like he's still showing.
No.
I get down with
I
John.
get down with John, yeah.
John, I don't know.
You know what
I
I'm
guess-
saying?
Like, I mean, everybody was all technical, like, they went through the lineage, then they went through all this other stuff. And I was like, yo, dude is God.
That's like my favorite joke. One of my favorite jokes is in Mark 4 when Jesus turned up on.
Totally flip the table.
No, yeah, that too. But when he was like, when it was on the boat in the storm, they was waking up, like, yo, Jesus is storming there.
Oh, yeah.
And Jesus was
I'm
like,
on a boat.
He was like, man,
you a little fake. Go look again. Go look again, G.
and he just, I don't know. Matthew is my favorite because of the Beatitudes, and I say that because the Beatitudes are literally stuff that we are literally taught on a daily basis today. Like, somebody do you wrong, you better beat that person up. Like, somebody slap you, you hit them back, or talking about somebody thinking you're better, no, you're the same as that person. Like, that's why I love Matthew the most, for that chapter, and just Matthew himself, of how God still loved a tax collector, who back then was one of the like worst things you can be.
You're selling dope. Pretty much. Like,
So, but yeah, and that like, and this is a little bit of me sharing like who I was when I was being mentored, and I'm still being mentored a little bit. I need to talk to my mentor more. But when I was being a mentor, that's what I looked for in my leader was, man, like that love that you shared, and to understand like, man, like you're doing it the way that I feel like that's the way God wants us to do it. Like, not saying he's perfect. He had his faults and whatever his faults were, but it was still like, man, like I'm not better than you, like minutes, or as he would call him. Hey man. I don't know why he used to always say that.
Hey, what?
But he used to be like, hey man, because we used to always say different. I called him Angry Bird or he'll mimic me or something like that. But great dude, man, and that's how what I was learning and some of the stuff that God was showing me, like how I feel like you're supposed to love somebody through the ministry or whenever you're mentoring is not to mentor somebody saying, hey, I got it all together, so let me help you out because I'm better than you, so I got a lot to show you. It's like, no, like we're the same, let's do this together.
I think as a mentor as well, like you should still be getting mentored because if I start pouring my drink in your cup, my job gonna eventually be empty. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta have that order.
It's like you're the
gotta
pitcher,
keep
it's like you're the
getting poured.
pitcher and they're the cup.
So you gotta keep
You
getting poured
constantly-
into as well.
Well, you're gonna be empty, yeah, for sure.
You're gonna be burnt out.
And I mean, with all that said, that's like a great example of like exactly what I'm pretty sure he's all of our mentor. Fred used to teach about the Oreo layer. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a super dope. I'm gonna say stupid, but I don't know why I was thinking stupid. But I thought that was
Don't talk about it.
I'm done with that.
I thought that was like super dope. Like to have a top layer, you're the middle layer, and a bottom layer, like constantly feeding one another as a recycle. And pretty soon you'll have a double stack, triple stack. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was awesome.
They
Man.
got triple stack Oreos.
But I'm just talking about from the analogy, bro.
A quick list.
I would be down for that. I don't like the cookie part. I don't like the middle.
Man, you are the
cookie more in the middle.
I like the cookie more than the middle.
Me, you have to fight after this.
Bro, oh my God. First Goku, now the cookie.
I don't know chocolate, so I'm definitely in the middle.
Dang, G. But shoot.
But yeah, I think
We gotta wrap it up.
I know. And that's what I'm about to say. I was about to wrap it
Hey,
up.
we didn't get your last question.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And I think for y'all out there that's out there trying to mentor others, first off, if you're doing it from a God point of view, I do encourage you to talk to God about it. As we wrap this up, I just want to make sure we get that message out there that you do get right with the Lord, because God do say whenever you take that road, you're held at a higher standard. So I do want to make sure that your heart is in the right place, making sure that you are practicing what you're preaching, and also making sure that your heart is right with God before you take up that mantle. But also share love. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the main goal. Is make sure you share love in what you do. But thank y'all.
And that's for mentors, mentees,
Yeah, for all.
mentee, homies, whatever layer it is. You always gotta show that love.
And be there for them when they need you, man. Right? Through it all. But yeah, y'all, welcome. Thank you to this podcast.
You welcome. Welcome. You're done.
Are you finished or you done, man?
I'm one of the two.
Tree.
But thank y'all for joining us on another episode of the Fully Charged Podcast. Again, thank our homie Deontay for coming through, sharing love. Mayo would have loved to be here, but he's on a little vacation, so I don't know if he would have loved to be here or not, because he's in the beach.
Yeah, it's raining. He's trying to escape.
No, I'm saying he on a little sun trying to cook hot dogs and stuff. We seen the video. But yeah, thank you, Deontay, for coming through.
Thank y'all for inviting me.
No problem, bro. Send us messages as always, and for real, check out our new stuff, our new platform on Spotify, Google Play, and soon coming through with the Apple Play. And share some love. Deontay was definitely part of the group as well, so if you had questions or want to see more of him as well, let us know. But yeah, we love y'all, as always, thank you, and we out.
My mixtape gonna drop between now and 2025. So be on the lookout.
Yeah,
He really just got a mixtape too.
for the next 6 years, make sure you look out for
Be on the
Deontay.
lookout.
This is gonna be a surprise joint.
Yeah, it's gonna surprise me too.
How many tracks you have now?
Huh?
How many tracks do you have right now?
I got a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
That's about to be
You got an
a
album.
Drake joint. We about to have a double album. But all right, we out.
Peace.
Peace.